Hey folks, I'm Daryl Cagle, and now I am going to color that Trump and Putin cartoon that we just drew. So let's take a look. What I've done is I have this is where I work. This is my Wacom tablet, and as I do this, I'm drawing on it with my stylus and typing on the computer here at the bottom. So just in case you wonder what I'm doing, and this is my happy face down here. So everything is a pretty tight little deal here. So what I did was I scanned this in and I cleaned up most of the little hickeys here, and still needs some cleanup. I haven't finished yet. But I decided to close Putin's eyes because I thought that his eyes being open a little bit was kind of a distraction and didn't quite look right, and then I had to deal with his eyes not quite looking right, and so it just seemed better to me that they're having a big passionate kiss, and big passionate kiss and have the eyes closed. So I futzed around with this a little bit here, and you can see that I have some junk to clean up. So let's finish the cleanup here. And then I will be ready to go. And I will color this puppy. And I'm going to go through all of those little things about how I color that people always ask me about each time. I send them to the website and they said, I didn't hear you talking about that. And that's because all of my videos and past cartoons you can see at darylcagle.com, which is where I send people. So I probably should describe everything every time I go on, so that people don't freak out. How did you say you did that? And I will just tell you every time, over and over, because I know people don't really watch these whole videos, although we are planning to make the videos into podcasts that only last 10 or 15 minutes. Maybe 15 minutes is a little long. Somebody told me this cartoon looks like the graffiti in their town as I was drawing it. Perhaps soon the graffiti in every town. So I'm still cleaning up some hickeys there, getting this a little, giving this a little bit of house cleaning. I might want to make politicalcartoons.com a little smaller, my signature a little smaller. I note that when I draw smaller on the Durling paper, I'm getting some of the paper texture more than I usually do, which you can see, for example, here on their noses. If I come in extra close, see that nice paper texture? Isn't that nice? For how it breaks down to 100% black. I like that paper texture. That's why the Durline grabs the pencil, because it's got this fine, nice, grippy texture that makes my hard pencil look very black like ink. Alright, let's take this. My signature. And let's see, I'm in grayscale mode. Let's free transform it and make it smaller. smaller still. How does that look? Yeah, I think that's better. Okay. I'm doing my house cleaning here still. Just in case you're wondering, this is futz with all the little details until you're happy with every little bit before starting to color. Let's free transform that. Bring that down a little bit. It can be smaller than the signature. Okay. I think that's good. Hope you folks will choose to chat. Okay, I think I got this. Let's fix a little bit of this. R. And we'll fix a little bit of that. O. That. Y. That helped a little bit. Just a little bit. Let's look at that closer. Still looks kind of sketchy, doesn't it? This is all the dull stuff that everybody should do when they're cleaning up their drawing to make a finish out of it. This one's a little bit dirtier than usual because I did it in a little smaller scale. Most cartoonists, I must say, work in this scale. I like to draw most things pretty big, and I like having big originals. I think my originals on this paper look pretty nice. They're usually 14 by 17, which I think is fun. Okay. I think that's working. So here they are. This is the whole deal. Oh, Vlad. You're such a strong leader. No, Donald, you are the strong one. So strong. Oh. That's what they would be saying, right? That double line on his nose is a little awkward. Right. Oh, Vlad. Okay. It's a little bit smaller. I have so much Putin around. You folks should comment. I think a lot of you are not registered with Twitch, so you don't have the ability to comment. But it would be nice to get some comments. Okay, is everything right? Let's bitmap it. Okay, make sure everything's hardened up at 1000 dpi and 8 inches wide, which is what I usually do. You know, this line doesn't do anything. Get rid of that. And I'll save again. Okay. I think that looks alright. Let's go with this Donald and the Putin. I was going to do some little bits of spittle around their mouth, but I ended up not doing that. cleaning up his lips just a little bit. The lips are kind of on a crucial spot. The focal point of the whole thing. Okay. When I have all the little muck cleaned up, then I'll be ready. I think I'm pretty close to having all the little muck cleaned up. Oh, Gunchester Man, thank you so much for following. I didn't notice that was 7 minutes ago. I do appreciate the follow. Folks need to follow. So thank you, Gunchester Man. Okay, I think this is ready to roll. I'm hoping that Putin is recognizable without the whole head and with the eyes closed. And without calling him Putin, I'm only calling him Vlad here. So a little bit of people might not get at risk, but I think I can go with that. Ooh, the kissy lips. All right. So to color this, I am going to make a new file. I'm going to make a new file. Save as Trump Putin Kiss 500 dpi. Oh no, shouldn't have done that. Should change it to grayscale first. Let's undo that. What's my image size? Alright. Make it grayscale. And then you resize. Not the canvas size, the image size will be, sorry, that's behind my head. That will be 500. We'll constrain the proportions. 500. And then you want to go back to bitmap. That's how you do it. Okay. Now, it's 500. Let's make it grayscale. And CMYK. Can't go directly to CMYK. Unlock that. Drop down the layers, so I've got my whole width here. And let's add some layers. Key commands for adding layers faster than the menu commands. And then I will drag this pup back up to the top. And let's select all the black. And I want that black to be 100% K. So let's fill. I do it 3 times because Photoshop often resists. Fill. Now let's see if we got 100% K. And we do. Good. Now let's select the inverse. And I should get a nice checkerboard. Oh, and I lost some of that 100% K, didn't I? So let's... I don't know why that happens, but that happens as well. So let's fill again. Fill. Oh, that got darker. Fill. Now, are we at 100% K again? Yes. Learn Photoshop's idiosyncrasies. There we go. Oh, this is so much love. I'm full of the love today. So what do I want to do with the flesh tones here? Since I'm this close in on it, I could be a little more, do a little more than I usually do. Putin has kind of normal looking flesh tones. I might choose to make these balloons all bright yellow. That would be strong. I could make them pink. If they were pink. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with the flesh tones. Let's call this Putin flesh. There's no background in this cartoon. I can't remember a time when I've done a cartoon that had no background. Okay, let's say Putin flesh is 3/20/20. How's that look? Putin's base flesh. And let's drop in the base flesh. That's got a hard edge. Let's make it soft. And let's make it 40%. Try that. What do we think of that? 40%, huh? 40. That was not a good accent. I'm not even sure what that accent was. Putin. I have drawn lots of Putin cartoons. I did a speaking tour in Ukraine and in Tbilisi, Georgia. Kiev, Ukraine, and Tbilisi, Georgia. And in both places, they really don't like the Russians. The Russians have invaded both Georgia and Ukraine, but for some reason, it seems that the Ukrainians dislike the Russians more than the Georgians do. I notice. And, hello, Llama Lad. Nice to see you here. Have you followed me, Llama Lad? Let's give Putin a little darker going on. A little darker than that. I'll put that on another layer in case I don't like it. Bring that down a little. He does have these dark eyes. And dark under the nose. Of course you followed me. Thank you very much, Llama Lad. Yeah, I need more follows. I need more people that come on here and chat. Don't get a lot of chat. How about a little bit of warmer? Warmer where you put the reflecting light, you know? You know, I think I'm going to add a little bit of sponge texture just because opacity 25. Alright, soften them up with a little paper texture. Yeah, that helps. It gives a little bit of character, I think. on there. But enough, I guess. So there's Putin. Now let's do Trump. Trump needs to be a little bit orange. There's a Trump base flesh. And what should that be? Let's make him, he wants to be orange, so let's not have any cyan in there. He can be 50, 80, that is too orange. What about 50, 30, that's pretty orange, 20, alright, let's try that for a minute. Let's give him a base layer. Trump base layer. Don't think I like that. Let's go a little bigger and a little darker. And I think first I'm gonna flatten these two down into Putin flesh layer. Merge. Layers, merge down. Okay, that's the Putin flesh layer. So I can come in here, deselect. That way I can draw some transparent stuff on Trump and not worry about Putin bleeding through. Oh, bleeding through. Remember to make your top layer always multiply, because you want your colors to show underneath the black lines. Ooh, that was wrong. Do that here. Okay, Putin and Trump. Okay, Trump base layer. Let's go with that, 2050. That's kind of nice. That looks like Trump, doesn't it? He's got this orange stuff going on, the John Boehner thing. I think it's the spray tan, but I don't know. And interestingly, all these journalists ask him all these questions all the time, same questions over and over. Nobody ever asks about a spray tan. I think the spray tan is interesting. I suppose they're all such serious journalists that they don't want to ask about his spray tan. Let's go with a little darker. We'll do some Trump detail here in this next layer. Just a little bit of detail. A little bit of shadow under his forehead tuft. I think I'm going to come back and white his eyes out. This is something I noticed the cartoonists are doing as a pack. They're coming in and making these white spots over a broader area of Trump's eyes, which would be where he has his goggles on as he gets his spray tan. Okay, let's give him a little bit of the white like I did to Putin. It's kind of a paper texture white. Now, do I want to give him a little orange texture? I might. Here's some orange. That has to be really light. Maybe we make that 8. Drop it down. Some orange texture. Got it on so light at 8% that I have to hit it a bunch of times to get something to show up. But it's kind of fun, this little bit of orange texture, huh? I think that's kind of nice. I can go with that. I can give him a little bit more dark in a few spots. I think I'll do that here. Okay, that probably does Trump. So I think I will merge those and merge that down into Trump. Okay. Now, I have to keep the colors a little bit light for newspaper printing, otherwise things gum up and darken and it just looks wrong. So let's see. I think I'll hold off on Trump's hair until let's do Trump's hair next. I think he's going to need more orange today than I usually do. So let's make him $20.80. Is that enough? No. 80. 15. Alright, I'm going to try that for a minute. That's just going to be for a light layer. I'll light that up a little bit. Looks pretty similar to his flesh, doesn't it? I'll add some more. I'm going to add some texture too. let's give him some texture on there. White. Broaden that up a bit. 8%. There, that's better. You folks are so quiet. Alright, let's try a teeny bit of extra yellow. That can't have so much opacity. That's looking kind of nice. Do I want a little bit of orange? Maybe a tiny bit. He needed a little bit of the hair color in his eyebrows. Okay, I think that kind of has him. Let's give him a little bit more white on the nose. Different texture of white on the nose. Okay. Now, what do I want to do for the speech balloons? Let's bring down the Trump hair. And I'll drop that layer. And the Trump base flesh is coming out down here. So let's clean this up. Deselect. You know, when I started doing these videos, it didn't occur to me that I'd be doing so much talking to myself and that it would be so much about process and so little about politics. So these really are how-to videos. Okay. What shall we do for the speech balloons? I think we've got plenty of yellow going on. I was thinking before that I'd make them yellow. It's interesting, as I look at my screen and what you guys are seeing on the screen, it looks washed out from what I'm seeing in my my Photoshop on my Wacom tablet. So keep that in mind. Your view is much lighter. Oh, I didn't do the whites on his eyes, did I? Should I do that? Let's consider it. Eye white. Alright. Do I want to... Alright. Select all, eye white. You can choose to keep it or get rid of it. See, look better with his eyes whitened. That is what other cartoonists would have me do. Okay, there's no eye white, normal looking. Eye white, odd looking. No eye white, and eye white. I'm actually not sure. Now the next question is, how much attention do I want to give to the word balloons? If I make them a strong color, that's going to draw away from the nice focal point that I have here with the lips and noses. And I'm not sure I want to do that. Well, I haven't decided. I suppose what I could do is just give them a color and look at it and see what I think. Balloon. Let's try 75. See what we think of 75, huh? 75 yellow. Oop. I've got a nice little control on my Cintiq here for changing the size of the brush. I use it when I think of it. I think I'm kind of liking the yellow. I can select it on this layer and change it to something else and see what I think. Okay, is this finished? Now I need to make the Donald eye white choice and live with what I choose. So, no eye white. That has a look of normalcy to it. I think aesthetically I like that. Oh, there's something I need to deal with here. Let's get a little bit of this dark and put that over here where it needed to be a little darker. Yeah, that helped a little bit. Just a little bit. A little bit of You know, I want to do the eye white because it's funny, but I don't think it looks good, and I think it's a distraction. And that looks more normal. And I probably should go with that. I've got the orange and regular flesh tone thing going on. The eye white is a distraction. So without objection, I think I will pass on the eye white. And maybe this is done. Now the next question then, I'm going to save and then save a copy as merged. And then I'll merge all of these. Merge, will you merge? Now, let's look at this and see if I want to adjust the contrast to make it a little bit more punchy. Did less contrast look good? Brightness up, brightness down. Oh, that's a shocker. Hadn't really thought of that. How about 17? It's got less brightness going on. A little more contrast. Maybe I like that. Punched it up a little bit, which I didn't quite have enough of. How much contrast do I want? That's too much, isn't it? It gets to be a little ridiculous. I think I'm kind of liking that. I'm doing this on a separate copy because I might not like any of this. I could also bump up the saturation. I might like that. I think I like the different brightness and contrast. Let's go up and try the saturation. And less saturation, more saturation. Teeny bit more saturation. Let's go with teeny bit more. Alright. That looks kind of nice. Boy, what a difference I get looking at the image on Twitch than looking on this screen where I have much more vivid color. Which is, I think, where I'm going to stay. I think I'm at the right point here. Let's save this. We'll flatten this and save as. And I've got to go navigate to my folder, so excuse me. Okay, so this will be image number 1145, and it will be, I guess that's okay. I don't need to call it merged. Actually, I should have called it color. and let's see how big that is. I'll save it as a JPEG. .1145B. That one was 6.4 megs. That's too big. JPEG quality 10. Let's see how big that is. That's 4.8 megs. That's what I gotta go with. 4.8 megs CMYK JPEG. All right. Now, what do I want to do for black and white? So one thing I could do is just look at this and see what it looks like in black and white. So let's try that. Ooh, I want to step back. Oop. No, I wanted to go to this one. Well, now I'm lost. Let's just open it up again. That was where my starting point. Okay, come back here to Trump Putin kiss. There's the not quite merged one. And let's merge those layers. See what it looks like in grayscale. Don't merge. Okay. It's actually not that bad in grayscale. Kind of flat, but not that bad. So let's undo that. And I'm going to take all of this yellow. Rather than that, let's undo that and select all of that yellow. Getting a little bit of his hair. Well, I can fix that. Now let's select. And that needs to be white. And fill. Notice I needed to go in under the letters, which is why I deselected the upper layer. And we want to fill 100% white. And then look at it in grayscale. Don't merge. Okay. It's not looking bad. I think I'm gonna bump up the contrast a bit again. Contrast up, brightness down again. Because in black and white it needs more. And that looks okay. And then Trump's hair needs to lighten. Always gotta bump it up in when you go to the black and white, otherwise it flattens. Opacity 57. Okay, let's add another layer. I'm doing the black and white now. I should save this as black and white. So Trump Putin kiss 500 dpy gray, Gray. Looks good. And let's lighten his hair up. My son has entered the room. Nice to see you, sir. Lightening the hair up. I think a little bit of just plain light white, like that. And bump this up, soften it down. Go back a couple here. Catch that awkward one. Okay, I could have his eyes be more white in the black and white version, but still that seems like a distraction, doesn't it? Okay, I think I'm just going to go with this for the black and white one. Let's save that, and then let's merge them down. Save as a TIFF, 500 grade TIFF. That shall be 1145C, 1145C. Let's see how big that is. That's probably going to be small enough that I don't need to make a JPEG. JPEG is a lossy format, and if you don't have to use it, better not to have the loss. 8.7 megs, that's too big. It's got to go with the JPEG. I have a 6 megabyte file size limit because I don't want to be emailing files that are too big to editors. So let's take another look, see how big that came out. That came out 2.8 megabytes. That's little. All right, so this is the final black and white version, and I think we're ready to go. So that marks the end of today's live stream. You've seen it all here, and this drawing is done. So hey, thank you all for joining me today. Make sure you go to darylcagle.com to see all of my cartoons and archive of videos, and you can catch up on anything that you missed, and follow me on Twitch at twitch.tv/darylcagle, no spaces, and come to cagle.com and see all the cartoons from all the best cartoonists in the world, and come to caglebook.com to get my new exciting political cartoon coloring books, and go to cagle.com/heroes if you would like to support us as we struggle against the hacker attacks that are never ending. And thank you again. That is the end of today, and I will see you guys next time. Thanks.